Well, shit, Schwartz, so good to be back, man. Fantasy football, we back
We
at
back.
it again. Yes,
Yes,
sir, man.
sir. Good.
What
Got the dub this week. So had to hold off Gerald Everett Monday night. It was close, but I survived.
I feel like a lot of people had some close calls on Monday night. Gerald Everett, I saw a lot of people just needed one more touchdown pass from Justin Herbert to win. I needed an interception. I lost by 4 points with the Chargers defense. I just needed a pick
You were
six.
close. I mean,
Beautiful.
Russ was looking bad. You got pretty close, and now he's
Man,
hurt, so we don't know what's his health going forward. We got to
Mr.
think he's gonna play,
Unlimited.
but the
It's
Broncos are
Mr.
benching.
Unlimited. He playing. Well, let's get into it, man. What a tough week, like we were saying. It's been an up and down fantasy season, I'd say for sure, but definitely a tough week 6. And I gotta talk about my guy right away, weekly duds. Jeff Wilson, negative points on like
Yeah,
10
I think
carries.
I think it was like a half a point I saw.
I got negative half a
Man,
point in my league. Oh,
that's tough. They got
that's
down big early. They were just throwing the ball. Really no room for the 49ers to run. And they probably got another track meet this week with the Chiefs coming up. So I think we're going to be seeing more of that 49ers offense.
that was tough to see. I needed Jeff Wilson bad this week. A couple other big duds this week, honestly, man. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, and that Packers backfield. Simplifying things, Aaron might not fix this issue. That's all I'm saying.
How do you lose to the Jets?
The
Come
Jets.
on. Come on.
They've been the
You're the
laughing
big bad
stock.
Packers.
They've been the laughing stock of the NFL like the last 8 years. I feel like maybe even 10. And you expect Aaron Rodgers to at least put up a hell of a performance. And
I agree. And we can go to Pittsburgh. Your Steelers against, Tom Brady, the GOAT. Bad, tough loss for the Bucks there.
tough loss for the Bucks. I mean, Leonard Fournette looked great for the fantasy owners, but
Yep.
tough day for Mike Evans for sure, and tough day for Tom Brady. As you're probably still starting Tom Brady in most leagues if you
Kind of
drafted
have
him.
to.
Kind of have
Yeah.
to. And yeah, that was not a winning performance for sure. And I'm sure he would agree.
And the O line probably got it the worst.
He let the O line have it. He let the O line
Yeah.
tough week for a lot of players. I feel like, and some guys I'm starting to worry about. Like I'm not sure.
Pulling out the panic button? Are you hitting the panic button?
I think I got to hit the panic button, and the first guy I got to hit on. I'm really mad you spoke about his backup, James Robinson. Started off the season amazingly strong. 2-3 great weeks. And last episode, you were like, Travis Etienne is coming
He was
along.
rising, and
He's rising. And I think you might have passed him. I think.
Well, they talk about like game speed and like he's finally got it was 4 games under his belt. Now it's 6.
Yep.
So yeah, he's trending upwards, and the Jaguars have gone a little bit down, but their schedule is not that tough. Their division's not that tough. So I think that offense, you're still going to see good things.
Yeah, it's just tough for all the James Robinson owners because you were probably it's like found money in your pocket when you got James Robinson late and he was a running back 3 for the first 4 weeks of the season.
I hope everyone that had like James Robinson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire were able to turn that into DeAndre Swift or Mixon or someone like that, Kamara of that caliber.
It's why I don't gamble. I'm not a big stock guy. I always hold on too long. I'm stuck with all of it. Didn't get James Robinson off my team fast enough. And gotta sell. And the other running back I'm really, really, really starting to worry about is AJ Dillon. Man, like we just said, that Packers offense, that O-line, it's just not it. It's just not working. And with Aaron Jones struggling and AJ Dillon, I feel if one were to turn it around, it'd probably be Aaron Jones more because he appears to be the more receivable option as well. So I'm definitely starting to worry about AJ Dillon and owners you might be able to sell right now on the name of AJ Dillon and the potential that the Packers offense can get you.
Yeah, because if they don't come out this week against the Washington Commanders and put up like 30 at least,
smash the panic button.
It's bad. They gotta win that game decisively.
Yeah, I think 4 straight weeks. AJ
Speaking of the Commanders, though, like Antonio Gibson, he's lost his spot in the backfield. Brian Robinson back healthy. Looks like the workhorse on Thursday. We'll see now with the long rest if he's that same guy that could get 15, 20 carries.
I thought Gibson had a chance until I heard Brian Robinson come out to Mini Man, and I was like, he's done. That's your spot.
He's done.
You lost your spot when your intro song is Mini Man by 50 Cent. You're done.
It's not Antonio Gibson's fault.
It's not. No, it's not his fault at all.
Not.
I was actually looking at like his last 3 seasons, and I was like, he's been decent, but I understand the Commanders. He hasn't been eye-popping by any means. And no, that's a tough one for a lot of owners, because I'm sure you drafted Antonio Gibson as a running back too.
Mm-hmm. At least a flex.
At least a flex spot.
He was going to start for you.
Mm-hmm. He's not, and I would say he's not playable. I would say he's not playable.
Like, same realm as like Brandon Cooks, right? You're drafting Brandon Cooks to be a wide receiver 2-3. They hasn't been that consistent. He's had 1, maybe 2 good games. Trying to avoid that Texans offense.
That's an interesting one because you're coming off the bye week. So I'm typically a little hopeful for those teams coming off the bye week that maybe they'll come out, a little extra pep in their step. But I'm in that exact same position right now. I've got A.J. Dillon. I've got Brandon Cooks. I've got Antonio Gibson. And I'm like, who do I start at my flex?
Yeah.
It's tough.
We do like Dameon Pierce, though. He's been, going up. Some running backs that I know you wanted to mention, too. You talked about ETN, but Ramondre Stevenson time is here. And they got a good matchup against the Bears this week. If Damien Harris is out again, I think Ramondre could be another top 5 running back.
Feed the horse, run the damn ball, man. Ramondre Stevenson has been amazing. He's saved me in 2 leagues the last 2 weeks. So I'm a big fan of him. And I'm actually curious when Harris finally comes back if they stick with him a little more, honestly. Because he seems a little more versatile than Damien Harris. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean, he can receive the ball, and we know Harris can't really do that. He's good in the goal line. We can see him like break away and get some of that separation, show some of that speed that I just don't know if Damien Harris has. And that size. That size is dangerous. Yeah. Like we know from Derrick Henry, when you're that big and you can run like that, it's looking good.
The guys who have just been booming all season, my boy, my favorite running back in the league. I've been big on this guy for 2 years, undrafted. Western Colorado, actually, Austin Eckler. I mean,
there it is.
Western Colorado. Like, I just love that. A Western Colorado running back, undrafted, and he's the man.
Small. He's like on pace to set the receiving record for a running back with 118 receptions or something crazy like that. He loves fantasy football too, so it's great to see that he's the running back 1 right now. On a little bit of a shaky start, like he didn't have the best first 2 weeks, and then had the big 3-touchdown game, had another big game, and now it looks like he's the guy you drafted.
It looked like he's on fire now. Like now he's looking like that running back 1, running back 2 that you drafted him for, just like you just said. I'm loving what I'm getting out of Austin Eckler. Stephon Diggs, you might be the
wide receiver 1.
Could be the best receiver in football. Like
he's him.
You said it. I gave you a very hard time about that. Now I got to take a step back and look at the numbers.
Yeah, him and Josh Allen just have something where he can get the ball to him anywhere, and Stephon Diggs is going to go make a play. He's scoring touchdowns, long touchdowns, goal line touchdowns,
everything.
Third down, just getting that first down. DBs really can't guard him, so you need to kind of double him right now.
Yeah, that's the best part. A lot of receivers you'll see, they'll specialize in the deep ball, specialize short. Stephon Diggs all around. He's a great red zone target, great deep ball target, and like you said, third and short, work in the middle. So he's great for a PPR fantasy owner because he's going to get you the receptions of 7 to 12 a game, and he's probably going to get you 100+ yards every game too. So Stephon Diggs, man, he's been booming this year.
Yeah, and how about I know you drafted him 1-1 in our dynasty league, the rookie out of Iowa State, Breece Hall.
Rookie of the year. I mean, it's a little early, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Rookie of the Year.
If he keeps going.
I was shocked they honestly took him, the Jets. They took Breece Hall, but they must have seen what they're getting right now. He's that dominant. Because last year you draft Michael Carter, a running back, young, and he had a very successful season for the Jets. So they must have saw the dominance that we're seeing right now. I mean, dual threat, and he's just amazing in the receiving game. Like I like that the most about him is his receiving game is what I thought Travis Etienne would be. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's what he does a little bit better than this guy I was about to compare him to, because it feels a little bit like Jonathan Taylor, where like this guy was a really good college player.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have maybe the size, the speed, the athleticism that, people want, that high ceiling.
Yeah.
But it's just a damn good running back.
Damn running back.
And like you can't teach that. So I think Breece Hall, I want to compare him to Jonathan Taylor just because he runs hard. I think he's a little better receiver. And he's proven to be that workhorse for the Jets.
Yeah, that's weird to say the Jets have this dominant running back with some bright spot in their offense. Hopefully Zach Wilson is what they think it is, and they can kind of keep that up because the Jets receivers have just not been getting it done for you this year, no fault of their own. And also, the other running back, they said this guy came in fat. They said he was overweight, didn't really want to work. And Leonard Fournette has had an amazing season. It ain't even a playoff.
Super Bowl Lenny. Don't write him off. Come on.
Don't write him off.
He's a cow. He's definitely just a guy you can depend on. He went high in the draft for a reason. He went number 4, something crazy like that. So put some respect on Leonard Fournette's name. I think when we're discussing like best running backs in the NFL, he definitely gets overlooked a lot of the times.
Oh yeah,
you get the flashy names.
Yep.
But yeah, really good. Like he's in that upper echelon of running backs.
For real. And fantasy owners probably didn't expect him to be what he is right now, a running back 1 for your team. You probably drafted Leonard Fournette hoping that he'd be a running back 2. If you're stacked, maybe like a running back 3. But he's a legitimate running back 1 starter in the same category, putting up the numbers that, your boy Eckler is. So props to Leonard Fournette to shut the haters up because they were all on him this offseason talking about how fat, out of shape he was.
Yeah, I know. I like that he's putting the haters to rest.
I know you're sad. I know you're sad your boy Jonathan Taylor's been hurt. But that boy Deon Jackson stepped in last week and had himself a game. So thank you, cards, to all the people who picked him up on the waivers. Because, I'm sure he won you a fantasy league last week.
Man, I was looking at him, too. Like, he's projected probably more than my flex. I think I ended up, playing Ayuk. I might have benched Ayuk if I didn't.
Yeah.
And I did pick him up, so it worked out either way. But he, you're right. For everyone that picked him up, he probably got a dub. Probably picked up a dub.
I mean, you didn't expect the fill-in running back to catch 10 passes and run for 65, 70 yards.
Matt Ryan threw the ball 58 times. Almost 60 times. That's absurd.
The Indianapolis Colts.
Him and Flacco. How many pass attempts do those guys have in a year?
Who would have thought, though? That's the funniest thing. Who would have thought these old guys would just be slinging it like that?
That's the league, though. I mean,
it is the league.
We're seeing it.
That's
why running backs are down and receivers are definitely up.
And that's true. I wanted to talk about that actually a little bit. You see, like you said, Brandon Ayuk had an amazing game last week. He's been a guy that's been on the fringe of, can I play him? Can I not play him? Do you think he's finally might have turned that corner?
Same with Juju. I don't know if you can trust him each week. You're still going to have those duds, but it comes with the territory. You probably can't be playing 2 of those guys. The big boom bust, the Marquez Valdez-Scantlings, the Rondell Moores, even though I really do like Rondell Moore, especially with Hollywood out. If Hollywood and DeAndre Hopkins were playing together, it'd be a little bit different story. But we can talk about injuries right now. With Hollywood out, I do like Rondell Moore.
We had a big week of injuries. We missed last episode, so 2 big weeks of injuries. But like you said, Hollywood Brown, Damien Harris. Obviously, we now know Rashad Penny's done for the season. Carson Wentz is injured. And while you think, I'm not playing Carson Wentz, the receivers. You got to be concerned about the receivers now that Taylor is coming back in to start.
It might be a little bit of a boost for McLaurin because we know Heineke likes to get the ball to him. I mean, Heineke, I don't know if it's going to be that much different than Wentz.
That's so bad.
Playing, at a crazy level, though.
That's true.
I think Heineke can come in and at least be exciting. At least be fun to watch.
That's true. Another guy we're worried about because all these injuries, man, this guy can't find a quarterback. DJ Moore.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, it's either drop them or just stash them on the bench and hope they figure it out. Darnold's back, so maybe that helps. Is that the answer? Get another quarterback?
Isn't that crazy that I actually think the answer is yes? I think Sam Darnold's the answer.
He was good with Darnold before.
Yeah, I mean, they lost all 3 of their quarterbacks, had to go to the 4th stringer last week. after PJ got hurt.
Eason out of Washington.
Yeah, I didn't know Eason was even on the squad. I don't think he knew he was on the squad. So I'm like, wow. And also with the injuries, the Cardinals made a move. They bring in Robbie Anderson. Does he have any flex appeal? Any fancy appeal? Do you roster a guy like that?
I mean, I think you got to see it first, right? All right, and then there comes the, well, if I, got to wait to see it, and then he has a big game, everyone's going to try to go for him.
Yeah, it's too late now.
I don't know if you're going to drop a guy for Robbie Anderson at this point after we saw, kind of what happened in Carolina.
That's true. You really can't trust it.
And he's not going to the Steelers or the Patriots where this guy's going to get in line. It's like he's going to the Cardinals and they're kind of a fucking, shit show right now too.
Big shit show. It's either throw it to the main receiver, which is Hollywood Brown, or throw it to no one. So now I'm just
Tyler runs around.
I'm hoping the hype around DeAndre Hopkins coming back is as real as it should be. Are you believing in it? Is he a instant starter? Obviously, but is he someone 100%. You think that's going to come out with a bang this week?
I think it's tough because Thursday night games are terrible, and they're never any good fantasy appeal. There might be one guy that has a big game, but you never know who it is. DeAndre Hopkins is a must start. He's DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting who this guy is? It's
unfortunate
that he missed 6 games, but he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and I hope we see that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been hearing all the Cooper Kupp talks, the Jamaar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons. He's hearing the names. He's taking notes like, dang, Justin Jefferson's number 2 receiver? Okay, that's crazy. So I'm sure, like you said, Hopkins is ready to go.
Because you asked someone, he's out of the top 5. Yeah. Hopkins is out of the top 5 right now, so
definitely
he's trying to make a statement.
Yeah, like you said, I think he'll come back with a vengeance. Hopefully he'll make all those fantasy owners who drafted him in the 10th round or the risky ones who drafted him in the 8th round because your league is annoying. Hopefully you kept him all season for a reason. That's the hope.
And hopefully you're at least 500 where it's going to make a difference. If you're 0-6 or 1-5, it's going to be tough to come back even if you got Hopkins.
That's so true. I told one friend to draft Hopkins and he's 1-5. He's just I don't think Hopkins is gonna help me. I don't think so either, dude.
Probably not at this point.
You should just trade Hopkins honestly to get more for him.
Yeah, at least if he has a good game, you can maybe make a play. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, man. We got a good week of football, like you said, starting off. We got the Saints and the Cardinals. Of course, we do got to mention some bye weeks this week. We got some big
lots of byes. Really good teams.
Big bye weeks. You're going to miss out on your QB1s and Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, of course. You got the Rams, the Bills, Vikings, and the Eagles all on bye weeks.
Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
There's enough said right there. And then A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, it's a tough week. Those are some top guys at all the positions, actually.
Big receivers for sure, though. The receivers are hurting you. So hopefully you're playing that undefeated team this week. Hopefully you got them this week.
Yeah. I got the guy that has Hurts and Kupp on bye. So, if I had a chance, it's right now.
Yeah, if you had any chance of winning, this is the time right now. So all those bye weeks, you guys can make some tough choices this week. We got the Saints and the Cardinals. Hopefully the Saints are decently loaded this week. They had no receivers last week.
Thomas and Landry are out.
And Landry are still out. So I love Chris Olave this week. He should be back. Not sure about Jameis Winston, still questionable. The quick turnaround.
I think he's playing.
I think he's gonna gut it out. I think he wanted to play last week, to be honest.
He was wearing his pads.
Yeah, I think James wanted to play last week, and they were like, Jameis, chill. And he's like, I'm good. So I'm sure
he got hurt. So I think
he'll be eating the W this week for sure. He'll be eating the W.
You think they get the win over Arizona with Hopkins coming back?
If Jameis plays, dude, possibly, because that's a really good defense. And Kyler Murray, let's just be honest, has struggled this season.
He's been bad.
He's been bad. Really bad. And a good, smart
and Call of Duty just came out.
Double point week 2. But for the Cardinals, you gotta obviously for the Saints, you're starting Alvin Kamara. No need to even discuss that. Taysom Hill's a risky play. I started him last week with a ton of confidence, and he didn't do me much.
It feels like it could be a Taysom Hill game.
So he's due to make up for it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to get that quarterback play like we thought, but he's still an interesting play just because, we talked about it last time, tight end position still really bad.
And he's the only tight end in the league running the ball 5 to 6 times a game.
He's the only tight end in the league running the ball at all. He's getting 1 carry. So, that alone has its own value.
That's true.
You know, what tight ends are getting carries?
Maybe Kelsey might get a sneaky handoff once again.
He did take a snap last week, I think.
Kelsey might take a snap.
They don't like Mahomes doing sneaks.
I'm smart. I wouldn't take my Range Rover down a bunch of pothole roads either.
But how about the Eagles and Hurts? That's their thing. They just do the rugby scrum, and Hurts is so strong. He squats 600 pounds. Or
I was gonna say, pretty sure Jalen squats like 745s. Pat
it's like 8. Yeah.
5. Yeah. Nah. So Jalen's good.
Don't believe it?
No, Pat's not even touching.
Pat's like 225.
Yeah, he's not messing around with that stuff. The Cardinals, you got to start DeAndre Hopkins, like you said. And I think you should start Rondale Moore. Had 10 targets last week. Yeah. And he's at least going to have the chemistry. Obviously, him and Hopkins got chemistry already, but he's been playing consistently. Maybe Hopkins might be a step slow, might take some time to figure out his rhythm. Rondale Moore could have a decent game. Of course, you got to like Zach Ertz with this soft tight end position we got here. And hopefully James Conner suits up.
It's not a great matchup. The Saints got a still pretty good run defense. I think if they're going to be able to expose the Saints, it's through the air.
1 o'clock slate. We got the Detroit Lions traveling down to Dallas for the Cowboys.
Big D. The D going to Big D.
Is Dak playing? I saw questionable.
I think he's playing. I think he wants to play. He got cleared to play, so yeah. I think that's the plan. And it could get ugly if that happens. Hopefully the Lions come out strong after the bye. I mean, you still got to start your Lions. If Swift plays, you're playing them. St. Brown, you're playing them. Hawk is right on that borderline.
Yeah, it's a tight end spot.
Still probably start him. Yeah. You still probably start him just because, there's not a lot of guys you can start over him and trust. Hawk's at least going to be on the field, get the routes, and get some targets.
Yeah, the Lions should be fully healthy. Coming off of a bye week, you would at least hope that St. Brown and Swift are ready to go. On the Cowboys side, if you get Dak Prescott back, I call this a green light game. I think everybody's an option. I mean,
yeah, you can play probably Gallup. Ram, obviously.
There.
I don't know if I'm trusting the tight ends right now because Schultz is injured. They got Ferguson. They got the other guy. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I think I could start probably both running backs.
I was going to say, I think I like both running backs. Zeke has been quietly okay. He's been okay.
Yeah, I mean, he
15,
had a good game against Philly. This should be a good week for him, too. So we'll see if he has that, that burst, that pop that we saw Monday night.
Packers and Commanders, man. This is a game with a big old question mark. I got a lot to see. If the Packers cannot beat the Commanders and have a good fantasy day, it is trouble. You got to start Allen Lazard because the targets are there and the guy loves the end zone. You got to start at least Aaron Jones, and I'm not mad at you benching A.J. Dillon this week. I mean, it's been 4 straight weeks of less than 5 fantasy points, so you might have to.
Again, though, this is the type of week that they can score a lot of points. So, you got to just keep riding it. I don't know if you have any better options. We got to get some start-sit questions because that's tough, man. I think I'm starting him in one league just because, it's him or Brandon Cooks, and it's the same type of deal.
That's what I got. I got Brandon Cooks, A.J. Dillon, and it's tough. I don't know which way to go.
And then the Commander side, I'm benching Curtis Samuel after a bad Thursday night. Good Packers defense. You're still playing McLaurin, and then I think you're only playing Brian Robinson.
Yeah, with the new quarterback, I don't love Curtis Samuel yet because last year with Curtis and Taylor, not much. Well,
Curtis didn't play much. I think he only
he's
played
been hurt a ton his whole career.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, last year when him and Taylor played, you didn't see a ton of targets to him. Carson's been feeding Curtis Samuel. So I think you're right on that. Definitely got to slide with the bench there. Bucks and Panthers, man. I really hope the Bucks can turn it around.
Get right. Yeah, another
get right game. This is a good get right game. Yeah.
You're starting your Bucks. You're starting Lenny, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Brady, and those are your kind of 4 right there. I do like if you have Rashad White on your bench. He's been getting a little bit more action, and Russell Gage has been pretty active too with Julio being out. So yeah, I wouldn't start him, but it's a good stash to have on the bench.
Yeah, if he's still laying around your free agency, feel free to go ahead and snag him on the squad. Give him a jersey.
I mean, but who are you starting on the Panthers side?
One guy and one guy only, Christian McCaffrey. You can't start DJ Moore anymore. You can't. I mean, if Sam Darnold comes back, just be ready for upsetness maybe if him and DJ Moore have a great game together. But then that's just looking better for your future that he's a starter again. But I don't know if you can risk starting DJ Moore when I'm sure you probably have like a Tyler Lockett, that you can start over that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Let's get into the really good New York Football Giants.
I don't believe it.
What are they, 5-1?
5-1. About to be 6-1 when they beat the Jags.
You would think. I mean, yeah, I don't know if the Jags can stop Saquon. That's kind of the Giants' offense right now. The Giants have always had these bad receivers, and now Saquon's back, and Daniel Jones is running the ball well. They probably should beat the Jags.
They should beat the Jags. Are any of those receivers a start, though? Rookie had a really good week last week, finally came back from injury. Wandell looked good.
He's the guy you got to pick up right now if he's still available, because that's the only option. Tony's done. Galladay's done. Slayton's done. It's just you can't start any of those receivers.
Can you start Daniel Jones? 2 quarterback league.
I thought you were gonna say, can you start Bellinger? Because he's looked like maybe a pretty solid tight end.
Yes, for sure. He's definitely a start this week. I mean, you got
I'm
4.
starting Daniel Jones, Superflex 2 QB.
Superflex 2 QB. Yeah.
He's got the running. He's got the rushing upside, and that's what other quarterbacks just don't have.
For the Jags, you got to start Travis Etienne. You hope Christian
Kirk.
You hope Kirk can kind of rebound a little bit. I'm really questionable on the James Robinson or the Trevor Lawrence start. 2 quarterback league, of course, you can start Trevor. But the James Robinson start's tough. This isn't the best matchup for him, I don't think, with the Giants there. Like you said, 5-1. They've been playing some solid defense, though.
Really good defense. They're getting after the passer, too. Yeah. So we're thinking a lot of quick passes, probably a lot of sets where, ETN is in.
Yep.
If they get the run game going, though, James Robinson is known to break off a big run. So if you need a kind of boom or bust play in the flex, I don't hate James Robinson there, but there are definitely better options this week.
Browns at the Ravens. I mean, you know what you're doing over there in Cleveland. They got a great duo of running backs, and that's what you're starting. You can start Amari Cooper, of course. Still, he hasn't been bad by any means. But the Ravens, man, that receiving core is difficult to figure out. The running back room's tough to figure out. I like Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. After that, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, and they just signed Deshaun Jackson.
Welcome home, D-Jack.
Deshaun Jackson?
35, baby. He still got it, he said.
Whoa. What another team? He's going to catch a bomb, too.
He's going to catch a bomb.
So obvious. I mean, he might drop the ball 3 yards before the end zone, but Deshaun Jackson is back, and I don't know. I don't like the move for the Ravens, honestly. I don't think that fixes their problems.
They just need someone to get downfield. That's all it is. And that might mean Rashad Bateman's injury could be a little more than we expect. That's my only guess by that sign, is that maybe Bateman might be a little banged up. But the running back room, oh my God, Kenyon Drake have a great day. But I mean, what happened to JK? What happened to Gus? What happened to the guys?
Yeah. Mike Davis, Kenyon Drake. It's just a crowded running back room there with a lot of guys that I think the Bears coach said it this week, we're going to ride the hot hand. And a lot of coaches are doing that nowadays. Just whoever gets hot, you're going to be the running back until, they stop you, slow down, or we need to get you a little blow.
Fantasy owner's worst nightmare. So I would say beware, be cautious with the Ravens backfield this week. If no Bateman again, I think you probably have to start Duvernay. He's the number 1 receiver there, but
yeah, I guess
he really hasn't filled in the way you would want him to without Rashad.
No, not at all, unfortunately. What we got next? The Falcons going to Cincy playing the Bengals. This could be a little.
This is a sneaky game here. This is a sneaky game here. The Bengals played down the competition a lot. And the Falcons
have looked pretty good.
Been putting up some points. Marcus Mariota's like, hey, I've been benched for 3 years. Y'all should have been playing me somewhere. Yeah. He's looked pretty decent, and he's definitely a start in 2 quarterback leagues, but he's creeping up to the start in the standard league if you're talking 12 teams. Because, quiet as kept, he's giving me better numbers than Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are.
And it's weird because, Drake London's really fallen off compared to what he was doing early in the season. They lost Patterson. Pitts has still been very consistent. He finally scored.
He
finally scored.
Year and a half.
Like, you're not really starting anyone else in that Falcons team. Like, you're starting, I guess, Pitts, if you're hoping he's going to have a big game. He's so good. He's so dominant.
Yeah.
But
you got to start
Mariota's the best guy you can start on that team.
100%. I agree. And the Bengals, you're starting the crew. You're starting the whole crew.
Yeah, you got the boys.
Tyler Boyd hasn't really gotten to where he wants to get. He said before the season he wants 3,000-yard receivers. Higgins and Jamaar are looking great. Tyler has not been able to really find his footing yet, I think, in that offense. I'm not sure if that's the emergence of a little bit of Hayden Hurst taking some receptions away. But Tyler really hasn't picked up, and I don't know if he's playable at the moment.
And we're seeing Mixon get a lot more receptions. So between those two players, like, Boyd wasn't getting 8 to 10 receptions. He was getting like 4 to 6, 5 to 7. So with those two guys, Hurst and Mixon, getting more receptions, there's just less targets to go around, and Boyd, unfortunately, is getting the end of that.
Yeah, definitely starting Joe Burrow, starting Mr. Dependable Joe Mixon. And you're probably going to start Hayden Hurst. You're probably going to start Hurst tight end spot like we have been saying for all season. It ain't looking good. So you're probably going to be stuck there. The last 1 p.m. game we got is going to be a nasty game, I think.
Good DP.
Could be very gross.
Play.
Good divisional play, but you got the Colts at the Titans, man. Two teams that have, in my opinion, underachieved, even though the Colts are technically on a winning streak and they're hotter than ever.
Well, the Titans are winning the division, so this game will be for first place in the division. I think the Titans, coming off the bye, very well known to be a great coach. They're going to be really prepared to stop and get after, because you got to get Matt Ryan uncomfortable.
True.
But fantasy-wise in this game, it's tough, man. I don't think you're starting many people outside of Pittman, Jonathan Taylor if he plays. Maybe an Alec Pierce, maybe like a Robert Woods, Derrick Henry, of course. But
definitely Derrick.
After that,
it gets nasty, man. Especially the running back room for the Colts, because if Taylor doesn't play, Hines is definitely. I don't think Hines is playing for sure. And then we saw Deon Jackson got hurt last week too. So if Taylor doesn't play, I don't know who's gonna fill in. You would hope Deon Jackson can play this week, because
or Hines.
Or Hines, one of the two. We got a quiet 4 p.m. slate, just a couple of games here. Got the Texans at the Raiders. Like you said, I love Pierce. He's a start. Brandon Cooks, man. I guess I'm a big proponent of post-bye week plays. I think if you're stuck with the buys, you might have to start a Brandon Cooks. If you lost Stephon Diggs, you lost AJ Brown, you lost Cooper Kupp this week. I mean, how much Brandon Cooks might have to be that guy.
Yeah, and hopefully the emergence of Nico Collins doesn't hurt Brandon Cooks that much, or at least maybe open some things up for him. Because you always got to look at it from that side, right? Like, when one guy gets good, like, the coverage kind of shifts a little bit, and the other guy could maybe, increase in value or at least get some one-on-one opportunities. So I don't know if I'm starting Nico Collins quite yet, but Brandon Cooks is probably, like you said, with the buys to start this week.
Yeah, you can probably definitely start to pick up a guy like Nico Collins and start to look and see where his trends are going. You're definitely not starting the quarterback there in Houston, but when you go over to the Raiders side, you got your boy Josh Jacobs coming back, who has looked fantastic the last 3 weeks. Hopefully he can keep the hot hand, and you like Derek Carr still, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Waller kind of got hurt that last game. He started the game and then got hurt.
Yep.
So that was tough. Renfro is not a start right now.
Nope.
He has not been great. Matt Collins has looked better than Renfro, honestly, this year so far. So those are the kind of, Jacobs, Adams, and Carr, you're kind of your big three there.
Jets at the Broncos, and I think the Jets are going to win because, like we said, this is like a weird season for New Jersey football. But the Jets, you gotta start the boys. I mean, I like Breece Hall and I like Michael Carter sometimes. His percentage of the snaps are what I like. He's still playing like 55, 60% of the snaps sometimes.
He's not doing much with it.
I think the Broncos are just like not good.
Their defense is good though. Like that's the only thing that's been keeping the Broncos in games is like their defense. And I keep thinking like, all right, well, like they got to figure it out soon, right? I think I'm out on that after last week. They did cover, though. They did cover. I was on that in my pick'em, but man, the Broncos offense is tough. I don't know if you can start Judy. You're probably still starting Sutton. And then the running backs, like Melvin Gordon's going to start this week, but then he was on the bench. And Latavius Murray got a run after a run after another run after another run.
Yeah, I think Latavius, you should go ahead and grab that waiver wire pickup. I'm sure he's probably still there in some leagues. You got to go get that one because he's got something about him just is like, I'll take your position. Like he did it in Baltimore last year.
Yeah.
Something about him is just like, this is my job wherever I go. So that kind of worries me. But yeah, I mean, the Broncos offense is no
tough
secret.
to figure out.
You've all seen it on prime time every week. And this week we're all winners. They're not on prime time football.
Don't worry, next week they're in London, so we get to watch them early.
Feel free to sleep through it. We got the Chiefs at the 49ers. You mentioned
Game of the week.
Game of the week. This could be a shootout. This could be a shootout.
Yeah, I hope so. Excited to see the 49ers defense against Patty Mahomes.
I'm pumped for it, for real.
That's the matchup. That's the matchup for sure.
That's the matchup. And the Chiefs side, you obviously starting Big Travis. You're starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think you got to start Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, the targets have been there the last two games. While this was his first 100-yard game with the Chiefs, his targets have been very promising.
Yeah, we think or hope he's back. So we need a wide receiver one in Kansas City. Like someone's eventually going to take it. Valdez-Scantling put up an egg last week, big goose egg. So maybe it is Juju's time.
49ers, it's an interesting one. This is an interesting one because Brandon Ayuk.
I like the boys, but I don't like the running back. I don't know. Like Coleman's there now. Jeff Wilson hasn't looked great. So it's tough to pinpoint that backfield.
Yeah, I was going to say, after Jeff Wilson gave you a 0.5 fantasy day on 10 carries, are you comfortable starting him again this week against the Chiefs? We're not the best defense we've ever seen.
No, not the best. They still do have Chris Jones up the middle, so always got to be careful of him. But the 49ers are known to run the ball, and like that's the Shanahan offense. So you got to think the Shanahan offense prevails, and they at least get a little bit more positive gains. But if they get down big again, like they did against Atlanta, they're going to have to go to the air, and that's why you start Ayuk and probably Kittle this week, and Debo, of course.
Starting all three this week?
Yeah. I think so. I think it's a good week for him.
I think so. I'm going to go out with the Brandon Ayuk train. I missed him last week. Had a big game, 2 touchdowns, 8 catches, 11 targets.
You know, everyone's going to hop on the train. It's not going to take off. You know?
It's going to be overcrowded.
Man, all right. Let's get to the next game. We got the Seahawks going to LA, going to see the Chargers. Chargers home again. Chargers 4-2. Seahawks surprising, what, 3-3?
3-3.
Could be another good game here.
Yeah, this is kind of like let's see what Seattle's really about, in my opinion, type of game. They kind of struggled last week, which is like not shocking. You know, they weren't expected to be 3-3.
They got the win though.
But they got the win. So now it's like, okay, let's see what this offense can really give us, fantasy owners. You obviously have lost Rashad Penny for the season. Rookie from MSU, Kenneth Walker, has looked fantastic.
He has. He looked really good against Arizona. He's probably a big reason they got the win there. So we'll see how he does against a Chargers defense that we think he should be able to run on.
Yes, they should be able to run on it. I'm worried about the receivers for the Seahawks. I mean, I think you have to start DK and Tyler. Well, definitely DK. Tyler's a questionable, but I think with all the bye weeks, he'll probably slide into the flex spot.
Yeah, I think so. And I think they're going to score a lot of points in this game. Both defensive secondaries could get exposed, even though Tariq Wooten looked pretty good. He had that pick, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. So I do like that young corner they got in Seattle.
And for the Chargers, you're obviously starting the QB. You're starting Austin Eckler. We talked about him enough today. The receiving core, you obviously Mike Williams. Should be back. But if Keenan ain't back yet, that Joshua Palmer and DeAndre Carter, those two guys are once a week, one of them have a great game.
It's tough to figure out. Like it was Palmer last week, so hopefully Keenan's just back. We don't got to worry about it. But it's been a while for Keenan to play, so they're at home, rested last week, even though we thought he was going to play. I think this is the week they finally get him back.
And it's such a tease when Keenan's not out, but you have those two receivers because such a high-powered offense. You love Herbert. So it's like I know he has to find another receiver, besides Mike Williams. And obviously we're playing Gerald Everett. Tight end has been nice.
Yo, I'm convinced Mike Williams caught that ball in overtime. Like,
that was a catch. That was a catch.
I
watched the replay like 3 or 4 times. That's a catch.
His foot touched the ground.
Yeah, that's
and
a
they
catch.
didn't even look at it. It was like, yeah, whatever.
That was a catch.
I agree. Let the record show.
My boys, Sunday Night Football. You know, don't eat dinner too late. It might not be the nicest game. You got the Steelers at the Dolphins. I pray Tua should be playing. I think Tua's good to go.
Yeah, I think Tua's playing, which means Tyreek and
fantasy owners are happy again. You know, Miami.
And then how about Raheem Mostert? Mostert's been a running back too.
Yeah, they got him as a backup for Chase Edmonds, and he's taking that job. And no signs of turning back, like you said. He's been a running back too. He's a start every week, and I'm starting him again this week against the Steelers defense that's wounded.
Yeah, they're definitely injured. I don't know who you're starting on the Steelers.
Like literally, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Brian Moose is kind of hurt.
Who you're starting?
Najee, you're probably starting just because where you drafted him. If you didn't get like Ramondre Stevenson or ETN, like some of these guys late, like you still got to start Najee probably. Like if you didn't get Josh Jacobs, you're starting Najee.
Chase Claypool gave you 19 fantasy points last week. I don't know if you can start him yet, but it's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think Xavier Howard's going to be on Claypool. He's probably going to be on Deontay Johnson, but he might just stay on one side of the field. So
yeah,
we'll see how the Steelers kind of respond after a pretty surprising win over the Bucs.
Go get it done, boys. Then we got Monday Night Football, Bears at the Patriots. I need Mac Jones to come back. I mean,
this might be a beatdown.
Props to you, Bailey Zippy, for balling, but I just need Mac Jones to come back. I really do. I got the Patriots receivers, and I can't play any of them.
So if Bailey Zappi plays again and wins, do they stick with Zappi and start him? Because they're 3-0 with him if that happens.
One's a first-round pick. One's a seventh-round pick.
It doesn't matter, though. Who's
it better? Matters. Oh, it matters. Mac's better.
I'm not saying who is better. I'm saying who looks better.
Oh, no. I don't think Bailey's looked good, though. He's just won games. Ramondre Stevenson's just picking up the team, saying, hop on my back. I got y'all.
I will say, like, Ramondre Stevenson, the defense, shout out Matt Judon. Shout out Grand Valley.
Shout out GV.
Fair State.
Lakers.
Number one team in
number one team in the country. That's how we can say it.
Yeah, okay. Let's
the number one team in the country. Just say it.
I'd love to line up against fucking Ohio State or Georgia right now. Yeah, God, that game would be over in the first quarter.
But
no, they stick it out. They stick it out.
Patriots are looking good as far as Ramondre Stevenson goes. Like I said, the receivers are shaky. You know, they're making big.
Connor Henry.
Man, that's literally man, that's tough. Tight end spot would be the only reason I start that. I mean, because I want to start Jacoby Myers so bad. I mean, he's a target god. The guy just loves.
I think he's the one guy you can start on that.
The targets are there.
He's going to receiving core.
He's going to get 10 to 12 targets a game. So like, it's there for him to get it. So I agree with that. The Bears though, man, that's a tough offense to figure out. If you don't got Devin Montgomery, I don't know if there's much to even look at on that Bears lineup. Yeah,
I'm not starting Mooney or Kmet or really anyone. St. Brown. Not starting Fields.
Mooney. So, none of that stuff.
The Bears are pretty tough, and we know the Patriots' kind of strength is their defense. And I got to think Bill Belichick's going to have a pretty good game plan, especially to move up to 2 all-time in the coaches' wins against Hallis' Bears. Bill's been ready for this week. He's kind of mapped it out probably the whole season, and this is the goal.
Yeah, Bill's ready. Bill's been talking shit. He's ready for this one. Man, we got a great week coming up. Of course, as far as our head-to-head survival go, I'm obviously 2-0 with 2 straight ass beatings. I beat Schwab by 40 both times. So I mean, I'm really hoping 77 to 107. I like to round. But we took it to him.
I picked 77 twice.
It's actually
even more impressive.
Impressive than your losing record that you scored 77 back-to-back fantasy weeks. That's actually way more impressive. Hopefully Schwab can figure it out this week, boys. I really hope so.
Well, are you gonna give me the first pick this week then?
Of course, you get the first pick again, and maybe this will help you not mess up.
All right, this guy's gonna feast this week. We're going Devontae Adams.
Oh, okay. I'm happy you didn't take my guy, so we're good. That's fine. No issue.
We're going Devontae Adams.
Because you know where I'm going.
Receiver.
I'm going to Mr. PED. I'm going to DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh, okay.
He's been sitting. He's been.
I don't hate that.
Back.
I don't hate that. I don't know if I love it, but
I like it.
It's a Thursday night game. I like Hop. He's still, like we said, Hopkins is still really good.
Yeah, of course. He's out.
Ooh, all right. This may be a little controversial because I should probably go with quarterback or running back, but I think I'm going to go George Kittle. I think he's going to have a good game. I think he's going to probably find the end zone this week.
Ooh, I like that pick. That's a real good pick. That, like you said, the tight end spot is the one spot that's like it's hard to find. And the reason I've beaten Schwartz for 2 weeks is I had better tight ends. I had Zach Ertz. He had Kyle Pitts. So, shout out to T. Higgins giving him a goose egg in week 2 as well. So you got George Kittle. I'll stick with the tight end spot. I'm going to go ahead and go to LA. I like Gerald Everett.
Okay.
I like Gerald Everett this week.
He's a threat to find the end zone. Just a big target.
Big end zone threat.
Fast, athletic. So definitely possible. He's also a guy that could maybe give you 2 points and could be the reason you lose. So for my next pick, I'm actually really glad this guy's still on the board. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. Doesn't matter how he gets it done. I think he's still going to play even though he's a little banged up. We're going Lamar Jackson, baby. Big trot.
Ooh.
Against the Browns? Come on.
Against the Browns? That's a great pick. You got to love that matchup. That's good. That's good.
I like that pick. Damn.
I'm going to take him. I'm going to go with he's got his friend back. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my guy at the flex, Tyreek Hill.
Ooh.
He's got Tua back in town.
I mean,
he's ready to erupt.
Okay. All the stats were like he's on pace to beat Calvin Johnson's single season receiving record. So we'll see if Tua back gives him that little bump. He had a big game last week. He's just so hard to guard, man. He's so good.
He's so good. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. He got his best friend back. He's ready to go.
All right, you're gonna like this pick because I'm coming for the throat this week.
It looks like it, dude.
I'm coming for the jugular. I don't really care. This is the only part of the offense that's been good. They're playing the Panthers. Give me Leonard Fournette.
Yep. I knew you about to say that they playing the. As soon as I heard the Panthers, I was like, please say Mike Evans. Please say Mike Evans.
Let's go. Love that.
Oh, that's good. I like that one. Okay.
What you need? Running back and a quarterback?
Running back and a quarterback here. I'm going to go ahead and get this running back just so you don't take him. I'm going to go ahead and mess with Breece Hall, New York Jets.
Oh, I thought you were going to say someone else.
Go ahead and mess with Breece Hall this week. Breezy. Come at it.
Okay. I like it. That actually confirms my next pick because you said running back. I thought you were going to take him. Monday night, Damien Harris probably not going to play. Give me Ramondre Stevenson. That's kind of the reason you beat me last week. So I'm hoping this is the week that he beats you.
Oh, always I didn't take him. I looked up and saw I took him last week, and I was like, you lucky. He gave me 29 points already, so I can't touch him. Okay. Quarterback. Man, let's make it simple. I'm going to go with the GOAT. The GOAT has to rebound. He cussed his offensive line out last week on national television. There's no way he does that again. I got to go with the GOAT, Tom Brady.
I like that pick. That's a good pick. Again, playing the Panthers, they're pretty bad. So I think the Bucs hopefully have this get-right game, and it's showtime.
It should be showtime, man. Well, we got a great Week 7 plan for you guys. So tune in on Sunday. Get your popcorn, get your chips. Nuke is back in town. Like that's all I'm happy that Nuke is back.
I'm excited. Hopefully Kamara can find the end zone because he's looked good the last 2 weeks. We just need a good Thursday night game. It's been, I think I saw 40 possessions without a touchdown. Like
it's all Jeff Bezos. It's all Amazon's fault, man. Come on, Jeff.
Man. Hey, Cleats of the week. I'm giving mine to Adam Thielen. down in Miami, had the Ace Ventura, Patrick Texas Fleet. I mean, in Miami, that's a W for me.
That's a W. You got to bring those out. I love it. We're going to tune in for week 8. Y'all stay tuned for week 7. We'll be back for sure next week, y'all.